it has been a very it has been a very rough journey, I must confess. It wasn't an easy journey because we came in to change the narratives. We came in to change the system, how things have been done in the downstream. But this is not America. America, when Amazon lands, when they landed, others they actually strategize and they remain in business. But in Nigeria, it's not so. Because you have people who are used to rent collection, and so almost we're getting fight all over. We're getting fight from people that they believe we have removed food from their table. But based on us, it's not that we remove food from their table. It's just that we made our country and our continent very proud, because all the countries in Africa, they import petroleum products. Two before were not importing, but right now they too, they've joined the queue. They are importing. All the refineries in South Africa, only one, they've actually destroyed them. They are not, because what they do, they use the international traders, the local marketers and co. They all connive to suffocate any refinery. If I can maybe just remind you, you can see that today, the real fight that Trump is fighting India, he has no issues with India. In fact, he was very close to, Modi. But his main fight is about the crude oil of Russia going to India. Because that's the same crude, because that crude is being pegged at 45. So when they refine it, they make a lot of money, and they will take it and look for home for that refined product and go and dump. And most likely, if things are not very clear to you, because the issue is that you should also investigate how much this same gasoline, which is PMS, selling in our neighboring countries, is double. So why is Nigeria very low? Thank you. So Nigeria is very low, and what are we doing? People don't know that, yes, we're actually sacrificing a lot, because the crude we're buying, we're not allowed, the crude for Naira, we're not allowed to sell it. We're only to process it and supply it to Nigeria. And at a time when Mele was there, they were even jacking premium. We have even paid up to $6 premium to Brent, when the Russian one is selling at 20. Okay, so how do you compete with that? That's one. Number two, the infrastructure there is already, it was done, built by government. Our own infrastructure here, we have power here which is almost 500 megawatts of power, because that's part of the infrastructure. We have the government, they've been very magnanimous. They allowed us to build the 10 lanes road, which will subtract and take that away from our tax for a 3 years period. And we must be very thankful to His Excellency, Mr. President, for allowing that, because the roads that we have around here, there are quite a lot of roads. So, I mean, this place has the most infrastructure in the country. So really, we must actually, thank Mr. President for, doing that. So when you look at all these things, you look at now, we are paying high premium, okay, the Naira crude, because we are not allowed to sell it. We are allowed to only process and sell it domestically. And somebody is bringing this thing from Reliance and Co. in India to take it to Lomé. And when they even go to Lomé, despite the cheapness of that, they now actually blend it and put chemicals. But because we're normally consuming as fast as we, there's no reserve, no reservoir in the country. Only here we have reserves because we have at any point 500 million liters. So with that, if we're actually going to keep it as reserve, you see that it will actually caked. So they bring that one. When they bring that one, what happens is that they will dump it in our own market. Today, I'm sure some of you are in investigative journalism. You can ask, and you can quote me. The 85% of the fuel, petrol going to Republic of Benin is from the informal sector. 85%. So when you say that 85% of the Republic of Benin's oil, petrol, is from the informal sector, what does that mean? Now, it's coming from Nigeria. So that's the only next, there is no any body that will go anywhere to import. So that's still smuggling. And I can understand why sometimes people will now fight what we are doing. So these are the drawbacks that we face during this period. But we went ahead. And one of the issues that, okay, somebody said, but we sometimes even export a little bit cheaper than the cost that we sell for domestic market. That's not so, because when we were getting suffocated, you sell us crude, you charge us premium, which is still happening today, and then we compete with Russian product. And then the only way for us to keep that refinery going, we have to sell. And when we are going to sell, the same team, part of the mafia, they will now price us low. So we sell a bit low because we have to survive. That is what is happening. There's nothing. So do we have enough to supply the country? I am still insisting that yes, we do have enough to supply Nigeria. I don't believe there is a difference. Regulator is saying 50 million. Nobody can confirm it's 50 million. Even though 50 million too, even during COVID, when people were not moving, it was 50 million. And at a point, it was 93 million. We have shot up to 90. You've seen it in our own advert. So what is the way forward? What do you people expect next year? I believe by next year, all of us will have to sit down and resolve this issue and say, okay, fine, look, what is it? Because it does not make sense for us to do that. There's no country. If, in fact, in Nigeria, people who even produce this water, they have a protection. Because if you don't have a protection, you'll be dead. The issue is that today, when you go and buy a camera in Japan, Nikon camera, I can tell you for nothing, call anybody that you know in our embassy to help you buy one. Give him a specification. That same camera, you will find it cheaper in Alaba. Why? It's not smuggled or something. No, it's because that is how trade is. That's why Trump is applying duties. The whole thing about export is for you to export, you go and dump your goods in somebody's market, which means you go and make sure you discourage them from producing their own, which means you take jobs, you create jobs, and you export poverty in there and dump it. That is the real, issue. And what I keep saying, if the business is not good, because next year, our even capacity, I believe, will go up to 700,000 barrels, not 650. We are doing quite a lot of adjustment, changes, and code that I believe our capacity will go up. And based on what we have shown you before, we can produce even more. In fact, 58% of our capacity will be for export after satisfying Nigeria. But all what we are saying is that, okay, fine, let us not go. Because it was consistent supply to the market. We will now know, yes. Because if you look at it now, from just the last 3 months, we have exported almost 1.8 or so billion liters. We have exported 1.3 million tons of various, no, of just gasoline, 1.1, about 1.2. Yes, 1.2 million tons. So you do that times 1.341. It will give you the number of this, you know, I mean, say you can calculate out to them. So if the market is there, why are we exporting? Okay, because there's no need for export. Nobody, and I had also over somebody, a spokesman of Dapman, which even though I don't want to say anything about Dapman today, but he's the spokesman today on Arise. He was talking about, no, we actually don't have capacity, or we don't have this. We have the capacity. He said that, no, if we don't have the capacity, then why are we exporting? Because the dumping process is massive. It's not small. It's the same way they use in killing textiles that they want to use in killing us. Are you ask yourself a question now? Most of these trading companies, I don't want to quote a name, majority of them, if you look at it, in the last 23 years, they were not even existing. And you go back and check, right from Gowon's government, they had that crisis. 31st of March 1975, the government had to launch a budget to make sure that they eliminate fuel queues in 1975. Oh. And some of us here were not born at that time. 1975. Because 1975 to now is what, 50 years. So we've been battling with fuel queues for 50 years. I think even for us to eradicate fuel queues, we should be actually celebrated. Because we have taken away fuel queues, we've taken away $1 billion of yearly demurrage, of which last 10 years we must have paid $10 billion in demurrage alone. Okay? And majority of those ships, and I repeat, majority of those ships, when they come, they don't discharge all. Because who is going to check? The person checking, he's collecting 100,000 naira salary. So it's easy for him to collect an envelope of $10,000 and sign off whatever document you give him. Majority of those ships, when they come, they don't discharge all. They discharge and just carry the rest. They go and recycle it. So that is a discussion also for another day. But all what I'm saying is that we need to be very careful here so that you don't even create. In fact, the current thinking about some people in the industry is what will even create a total monopoly. Because I'll give you an example. When we started sugar, we were the only ones in Nigeria for 11 years that we had sugar. We didn't stop anybody from doing sugar. And then Bua went ahead and came in, set up his own, and joined us. Later on, Flour Mills of Nigeria went ahead and set up. Now, when you go back and you think about it, in there, say maybe 2000, what I could only think about and I can say, okay, I can afford, was a cement terminal. Okay, a cement terminal, that is to import from, we're importing from Indonesia, from Taiwan, from all over the world. And we're importing, Nigeria was number 2 in imports in the world. And President then Obasanjo said, no, please, Aliko, can you come and see me? I went there early morning, you know, he wanted to see me at 6 a.m. I said, no, sir, I'm in Lagos. Give me up to 8 in the morning. I will fly and come and meet you. At 8 o'clock, I was there at the villa. I said, okay, Aliko, remove your Dangote cap, put Nigeria's cap. Let's talk. Which I did. And he said, okay, how do we stop this import? Because this import is disturbing me. And as a president, I cannot sit down and see that we are just bombarding Nigeria with imports of cement. We need it, but we have all the ingredients of producing cement. We have the limestone, we have the clay, we have everything. So what do we do? As I said, the only way for you to do something, because it is more profitable for us to import. To produce is more difficult. And you know, because we have what? We have a trading mentality. When you have a trading mentality, it's different than an industrial mentality. And trading is not really something that anybody can be proud of, because tomorrow I can decide and pack up that I'm not doing. But when you set up an industry, you can nobody will set up an industry with 100% of his money. So there are stakeholders you are owing money to. So you have to keep that business going. For you now, you know, banks will be happy, you know, so it will be a circular economy. Everybody will be happy, suppliers, everybody. So going back to cement, that was how Obasanjo now said, okay, fine, go and do it. And in the cement, we are the only ones that believe in the policy. So when we went at first cement plant, when we attempted in 2000, February also, we bought Benue. Benue people say, no, over their dead body, they will not allow us, because this company must be sold to white people. Because all the other ones were bought by foreign firms. But this one now, they don't agree. So we fought for 46 months. We left that Benue as we were fighting. We went and put up Obajana, 5 million tons. Even our bankers were scared. Now, fast forward, we finished Obajana. We commissioned Obajana. We went on. And from Obajana, we now went to Igbeshi. From Igbeshi, we now went to this thing. Okay, but we've done that. Boa now, as we speak, he has almost 18 million tons. Lafarge, that when we were, you know, when we launched Obajana, they had less than 1.2 million tons of production. They are at almost 12 million today. And there's a newcomer that came in this year, Mangar. So you can see, if not that it was profitable to do so, there would have been only one Dangote doing cement. So I will take you to where I'm, you know, what I'm trying to say. So now when you look at it, there's nothing like, okay, fine, you're the monopoly. Somebody will say, okay, fine, there's no benefit. Today, Nigeria will, from next year, will be earning almost $500 million from export of what? Cement. Because we believe that foreign exchange issue with inflation and co in any African economy, you have to watch it as an investor. So now if you keep talking about, no, let's not make this, okay, we have already escaped too, because we already have a refinery, we have delivered our own. So if there is no support, that these people say that, no, we must not make good money. Okay, fine. If we don't make good money, nobody will enter the business now. And then you end up with only one supplier, because NNPC's refineries can never, ever compete. Because the market here is gasoline market. And when we produce for any barrel, we have 54% of gasoline. NNPC today, if they try, they will achieve 18. They will produce low-fall oil, they will produce all this, which is not needed today. So it will be a loss. The more they operate, the more money they lose. If they don't produce anything, they are paying salaries, pension gratuity is increasing every day. Because if they don't get rid of them, they will keep sinking in problems. So the best option that I believe, if people now really want this market to open, is to encourage, not only us, is to encourage everybody. We did not stop anybody. There are over 30 licenses that were issued. So those people who are making noise, they should also go and put up plants. When they put up plants, then Nigeria will become the biggest hub. Even though now, Nigeria is the biggest hub, majority of Europe's supply and US of aviation fuel, we supply, because we produce a lot of it. you know, I mean, the gasoline that I was telling you earlier, we actually between June, July, August, and part of this September, we have actually exported 1.6 billion liters. Almost, yeah, 1.6, 1.8. That is up to this. And this month too, we have more to sell because they are busy importing. So I think it's something that which I think we are not the ones to address the issue, and government is actually going to address the issue. They are looking at it. They are going to address the issue because it's not. I mean, it's not about you know. We don't want to also be a monopoly. We want other players in the business, but other players in the business, you cannot come to a soccer field and you want to play cricket. You want somebody. So if they want to play, let them come and play soccer, so that you know we know that it's the same rules of the game, everything. But you know the other players they want to play cricket, and cricket really when you hit the ball, you can hit somebody on the head. So that's this. I hope I've answered your question. But okay. Definitely by next year, I believe we'll have a different story. Nigeria will be the largest exporter of polypropylene in Africa. It will be the largest supplier of this. Yes, you know, and we are not deterred by all this noise and call. You know, I mean, we'll call you very soon when we are launching something. We're actually targeting to be the largest fertilizer, urea fertilizer in the world. And that's a big celebration for Nigeria. And whether people now come, we will support our government to make sure that we keep creating and generating jobs. And we're generating jobs every day. That's why sometimes, you know, I laugh when, you know, what do you call them? Is it Nupeng? Nupeng, I don't even remember the name. So, you know, Nupeng said no. There will be losses of jobs. Gentlemen of the press, our company did not only buy 4,000 CNG trucks, we bought 10,000. 4,000 tankers, 6,000 dry cargo. Because there are some they carry our coal, some they carry this. So we have them in various this. Because what we are trying to do is that we are trying to modernize this. But you can see how innovative we are. Because who is going to lose? Actually, Dangote refinery will lose because we will lose a big customer. Dangote cement used to import 40,000 tons every month of diesel. So now they will stop buying from us. They will now go and be using their gas, CNG. And like what I keep saying, we are not going to be deterred. So as soon as people now realize, because those trucks, when they came, the CNG, they didn't cost attention. Because the one that cost attention are the tanks. The tankers are the one that actually cost the attention. But those when they came, now we have already launched almost 4,000. And before end of the year, the remaining 2,000 will arrive. You can see even today, we have a ship that brought about 200. Every day they will be arriving. By end of October, all the 4,000 tankers will be here. But by end of November, we'll have total on the road 10,000, I think 250 total. So, but then, if you check the news on Thursday, okay, on Thursday, not this Thursday that passed, the other Thursday, that's 11 days ago, NIPCO just doubled the price, more than double, from 230 on CNG, they took it to 500. And this is all part of the game to make sure that, yes, we don't allow Dangote to go this. And what we are saying is that, no, we are trying to make lives of people much easier. How easy do we want to make it? Because we are saying that, no, don't worry. When you are in uh, Damaturu or in Maiduguri or you are in Yanagua, just pay. When you pay, we will deliver to you. You only pay what you receive. So all the risk of stealing, risk of whether accident or whatever, we will take it out of you. And why? Because it's easier now. It's like now, today, you will now go, for some of you that have visited America before, you go to Macy's or you go to Walmart and you go walk in there, you burn your gasoline because you have to go there. You wear and tear of your car, you go there and buy something, you go back home. But today, from your own phone, today I can order something from Amazon. It will be delivered here in Nigeria. They are using DHL, UPS, and all these people. They don't use them anymore. They spend 23 billion to create their own logistic infrastructure. Did anybody in the government of America say that, no, Amazon, you can't do that? Just sell goods and, depend on other people to now do that. Why we as Dangote, we don't want to really rely on anybody? I'll also give you a story. When we were importers, okay, the only people who were always holding us by the neck were actually transporters. And that was the time now when my brother finished his university in Atlanta. I said that, please start coming back home, buy trucks, come and start. He started with our own this thing before he became a rich man. So he was our transport manager when we first launched our own trucks. Because we realized that that was the only way. Now we finished everything and somebody now will come and hold your neck. Because if there is no evacuation, what do you do? And today when you go and check our records, and it is actually in our own financials of Dangote Cement. Dangote Cement, even now with the trucks that were bought, we're only doing 60% of our own cargo. We're not trying to take anybody out of the market. These trucks we launched, we didn't stop anybody from his work. You are saying that there will be lots of jobs. Are our own tankers going to be driven by robots? There are no robotic trucks now. There are trucks that, yes, and by the time you take a workshop manager, mechanical, electrical, okay, people who look after tires, people who look at logistics, movement of the trucks, dispatch, back office, every truck is about 6 people. So these 4,000 trucks they are fighting over, it will create 24,000 jobs. And let me give you also another good news. What you are saying is that our salary is almost 3 times or 4 times their own. I mean, our own, after 5 years, free accident, nothing, a driver can apply. Since we are driving hazardous goods, you can apply and get a housing loan. Our drivers earn more than graduates. If you look at what they earn in a month, it's almost 4 times minimum wage. And you are saying that, no, don't create jobs. If you look at it, that's why I said that my people, when you got here, I'm sure my people took you around and show you some of the trucks. And please go and ask anybody. I don't want to tell you, but go and ask everybody. It's not every truck that you can load here. With just a spark from the silencer, the whole place can catch fire. But see, some of them, when they come, we have to manage because we actually don't have trucks. And I can show you, by the time we load Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, you see the volume will crash because the trucks are not there. They are talking about 30,000 tankers. It is bullshit. Excuse my language. It's not true. Nobody has 30,000. 30,000 why? For why? How? What do they carry? So to actually, ask all these things and say, no, 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 you know what? Let's make even life easy. Okay, because the question of you joining a union, if you look at the act, I think it was section 12, subsection 4 also, it said that it's voluntarily. You have to volunteer to join a union. Even religion is voluntary now. I can't force you to be a Muslim if you are a Christian. You cannot force me to change my religion. I will choose. And if I think I'm doing the wrong thing, tomorrow I will decide I'll move and change to another one. So it is not a question. Nobody will lose any job. And if they have that issue, any of their driver, because the fight is over driver, any of their drivers who doesn't have a job and he wants to join these people to earn more money, he is welcome. It's not true. There's nobody who has lost his job. We have actually launched 3,000, about 980 or so of the bulk cargo. And it took us even time to even have drivers. Drivers now are very difficult to get. And we are not the only ones buying trucks. People are buying trucks. And we have training school where, yes, because safety is number one to us. Because every truck is how much? You think every truck costs about 170 to 190 million, depending on even Chinese one. Yes, about 175 to 190 million, depending on what you have in it. So you cannot just now go, because what you have invested, actually, we have invested almost to the tune of 2 trillion naira in terms of trucking. How can somebody now just come and say, no, 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 don't operate, park? Where and how? Nobody will lose his job. We are creating more jobs. We are looking for people now. If you have anybody, please introduce. We are employing drivers. We are employing mechanics. No, it's true. We have now a total of almost 40 or 50 Chinese only to stay here for 3 months and train Nigerians to be able to service this, because we can't afford foreigners. But locals, they can. You see, these trucks that we have, they are like Peugeot. Peugeot, that's why Peugeot was very, very good, was rugged. Any village that you go, when you have a problem, the mechanic in that village can repair it. So that's what these ones are. They don't need much of training. So forget about all this one, saying somebody will do. Which job is somebody going to? We are creating 24,000 jobs, minimum. And it's not that we will stop at this one now. Next phase of our this from January, we are looking at even electric vehicles. Yes, so it's not a question of, this. So when we now just come, you want to tell me that, no, 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 keep using these old trucks. And now if there's an accident, may God forbid, you want to come and say, well, sorry. We have to safeguard our own investment. And somebody can even intentionally bring a bad truck to come now and, if we have an accident, at